Okay, I chose. My name is Stormy Deer. I'm in this class, social psychology. I chose to answer question number one, though I feel that all the questions really do go hand in hand. When it comes to people's boundaries behaviors or attitudes predict our behaviors, I really do believe that if you wake up with a bad attitude, you're going to get bad feedback from people that you encounter, and it's going to affect your behavior. Um, and if you go into, wake up and you're not, and you're in a good mood, and somebody else is in a bad mood, and their attitudes affect your behavior. It's all about what you're willing to allow in to your inner self and and how you're feeling. So you got to learn. I think that we all have to understand that other people's actions should not what people think about us should not be our business. Like, I used to let people get to me. I was called fat when I was little, and it ultimately ended up in an eating disorder that I ended up using drugs to maintain my weight. So that's because of me letting other people and what they say and their attitudes towards me affect my behaviors and made but it made me do the things that I do. But although I cannot blame other people for what I did because that was my own personal choice, I just chose what they said to let what they said get to me to get me to that point. Since I've been in therapy, I've learned that other people's attitudes towards us are not our business. And I've learned that, I got to be more self aware of my own self and what I choose to say or do that affects other people. So I do believe that our attitudes predict other people's behaviors, and our behaviors can affect other people's attitudes. So I think that I mean, if you have a good attitude and your behaviors or match your attitude, then other people are not affected as much by it. But if it's a positive way, if we're having a bad day and our attitude is negative and our behavior patterns are negative, then we affect other people, and sometimes it's unconsciously affecting other people. You got to understand that if you have children, and if you're yelling at them children all the time before they go to bed, they wake up thinking that they're going to get yelled at. Your attitude affects your children and their behaviors. So I really like to think of it as attitudes. Our own personal attitudes actually predict other people's behaviors, and other people's attitudes can predict our behaviors if we choose to allow it. I mean, it's about self awareness and self, like, reality. If you're aware of your boundaries and having boundaries, I think that people fall short when it comes to boundaries, and that really is a big indicator of attitudes and behaviors. If our boundaries are weak, then we got to learn to be more have more boundaries so that we cannot let other people affect our behaviors and our attitudes. I think other people's other people affect us and it can be in negative or positive ways. So, and I think we can affect others in negative or positive ways. So, it's all about knowing yourself and knowing that, you got to think before you speak so that you can have that 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 part of not affecting other people in a bad way. I mean, because I work with juveniles and I tell the kids all the time, you know, why did you continue to do what you did? Well, they already know, they already thought I was bad anyway, so might as well, I'm already in trouble, so you might as well go all the way with it, go all in. I'm like, well, have you ever thought about maybe just proving people wrong? What people say about you? And a lot of my kids say, no, I never thought of it that way. And so you got to change the mindset of how we teach people and take everything as learning experiences and learn from things. And that will help affect our behaviors and our attitudes towards people and ourselves, and how we choose to deal with certain situations. So I think our attitudes do affect other people's behaviors in negative or positive ways. I think that our mind, like other people's attitudes and behaviors towards us, affect us and make us do or think things that we wouldn't normally think or do. And that's pretty much my answer. And it's all about us, what we choose to allow and the boundaries that we set.